A quick campervan project update. I bought a batch of offcuts of this slate grey board, which I really like, but unfortunately the pallet when it came, a few were pretty damaged and a lot of small pieces that are not really big enough for even any doors, but I can cut them up and use them to make little shelving units and various little storage areas so that they match. But I will get a couple of doors out of them, but I'm now going to order a bigger sheet, and I've also had the orange trim arrive, which is good. So when I look in now for comparison with this blue vinyl that I'm going to rip off, and I've talked about putting an extra cupboard in there, as it happens one of the doors has turned out, or one of the pieces, they're offcuts from a conversion, so this piece has already got the curves on it. It's even got the slot routed in for putting the trim in, but it's probably about an inch or so too high to clear the top of the rock and roll bed, so that's easy. I'll just cut it and reshape the bottom corners, but it just gives me an idea that actually if I do put a cupboard in there, rather than space that I'm not going to use that's accessed from the back that's too tall, that'll work in nicely there. And also I like that slate, and it definitely matches well to the slate that I've got on the worktop. So I need to filter through these pieces, measure everything up, and then see what I need to order. The brackets have also arrived to hold and store away the tabletop when it's not in use. So I'm hopefully going to fit it onto the end of this unit here. I think I've just about got space, but I'm quite happy. I'm making a new tabletop anyway, so if I have to make it another 50mm narrower, that's fine. Or I can fit it to the back of the barn doors, but I prefer it actually to be here. It's easier to get hold of, so I'm going to get those fitted once I've made the new tabletop and started on the doors. Right, so I've just sorted through all the offcut pallet that I bought, which with delivery was 50 quid. I've got no size that will do a table, no size big enough to do that door, no size big enough to do that door. I've got these one at each end of the bed. I've got one piece that will do one, not that will do the other, and the tall door, nothing. But I have got a piece that will do there. So actually, a waste of money. My advice would be steer clear of those offcut bundles that are being sold, and just buy a sheet or a half sheet, work out your cutting list. It's just a waste of money. Another thing I picked up was these folding shelf brackets, which are quite handy. These ones are for a 200mm shelf, so I can use up some of the offcuts. The other thing I need to think about with this slate is the pattern, you know, keeping the orientation of the way I cut it. You know, this is just one of the offcuts that I've got. Obviously the slate patterns go in this way, so I need to make sure when I put those in, everything matches up right. Not quite sure where I'm going to put them yet, but a few extra little shelves once you're on site that can then fold away when you don't need them will be handy. And I can shape this, I can fit the trim to it, and have it all matching. So for a relatively cheap price, under £10 for a pair of these, it's worth a go. So I'll leave it at that for now. I'm going to work through the offcuts, just make sure I've got everything right, and then I am going to place an order for the extra panel that I need. And then the next video, I'm going to start marking out in the camper van and start cutting out some holes and fitting some doors. Thanks for watching.